Barakatah How, Barakatah How Shah, Barakatah How, Barakatah How Shah. Now, Joe Biden said he's giving 100 million jabs in his 100 days, first 100 days of being president. Now, this reminds me of when in Maccabees, first Maccabees, when you go to the first chapter, when this king came into rulership, he did the same exact thing. And so when you go to first chapter of first Maccabees, the first chapter, and you look at verse 10 and say, and it came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, the king. You see, Antiochus the king. And so when you jump to verse 41 and say, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathens agreed according to the commandment of the king. 43. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So many Israelites consented. Same thing with this Joe Biden. Many Israelites is gonna consent with what he's pushing for the elites. Now, verse 50 said, whosoever would not, according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. So you got the Department of Defense rushing to change the death sentences laws as soon as they making a push for this so-called jab that they want to put in 100 million people arms in 100 days. You see, and see this situation with this King Antiochus from a wicked root. In verse 36, it says he was an evil adversary to Israel. Now, he wasn't the only evil adversary to Israel, because these, and he certainly wasn't the first, because he was one of the, I would say, pretty much in the middle of this bloodline that was an evil adversary to Israel. Now, when you go to 1 Kings 11 and 14, it says, and the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon. So this is an adversary that the Lord has stirred up, because Solomon was being wicked. He was doing evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord stirred up a Satan or Satan. You see, that's what's going on. These people, once you got the revelation talking about Satan, that's who they're talking about. Because it just means adversary. Said he stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was the king's seed in Edom. You see, so they when Solomon fell off, he put the Edomites onto Solomon. And that's what he's doing to these wicked jakes in Babylon the Great. He's sicking the Edomites on them because they being wicked. When David was on the run, when you go to 1 Samuel chapter 30, when Saul was being wicked, he was sending the Edomites to attack Israel. And they went and attacked David. 1 Samuel chapter 30, the first verse, it say, and it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites, see, the Amalekites is a tribe of Edom, the Edomites, had invaded Salakia. The Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag and burnt it with fire. Verse 2, and had taken the women captive that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burnt with fire. Their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives, slaves. So these Edomites got a history of trying to put the children of Israel in slavery, and not trying, the Most High sending them to do so because of the disobedience or the lesson he's trying to teach the Israelites. Now we got 2 Chronicles chapter 28 verse 17. It say, for again the Edomites had come and smitten Judah and carried away captives. You see, the Lord sent these Edomites to the children of Israel to put them in captivity when they caught being wicked. And so this is nothing new with the Edomites. They always or the Lord raised them up to punish the Israelites when they're being wicked. And so that's what he's doing with these Edomites today. He's raising them up. They done had the Israelites in captivity for about 1,000 years almost. And so this is the time that he's gonna intervene due to the remnant or the elect crying out and begging for mercy. But it's a part of his plan anyway, that he would save a remnant of the Israelites from this captivity. And so now that these dragons is trying to give everybody a jab, it's the hour of temptation for the elect and the rest of the Israelites to see who's going to be faithful. But yeah, Sleepy Joe, he is the mouth of the dragon, trying to speak like a lamb, like he gonna do something that's helpful to somebody, but really he's the red dragon, and he's trying to throw the Israelites into a pit. But the Most High set the situation up, and so if you ain't following his instructions, you gonna suffer the consequences. And so, like he tell us in Ecclesiastes, never trust your enemy. And the problem what they did in 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, is some that's gonna consent. 1669. It's some Israelites that's gonna consent, just like in 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter, verse 43. Many also of the Israelites consented of his religion. You see, pretty much of his, whatever he was telling them to do, they consented to it, knowing that these were some red dragons that's been warring and set up as an adversary, an enemy of Satan to the Israelites since they was in the womb with Jacob and Esau. And so that's where we at here in Babylon the Great, dealing with what we dealing with. So I'm gonna leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Hashem and Kakadash, double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to these elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.